hear what Coach Pip's done after the first map win with Giants. And my question for you very quickly is, in LCQ, you guys won every single map that you played, showing your strength in your own map picks and the opponent's map picks, just like we saw on Lotus. So for that map number 2, what is that one thing that you want to remember and remind the team so that they're able to close it in those 2 maps?
I would say that we need to win all our rounds and not repeat the same what happened with the DG in advantage scenarios. So, for example, in this game, we were winning rounds which we had to win in advantage scenarios, and that's why it felt like a comfortable game for us, even though it was a super rough start for us on defense.
Absolutely. All right, best of luck to you, and back to you, GP.
Thank you so much, Dryad, for that. And it feels like KRU, Vamos, a little too close to the sun there when we swapped halves. That meant that KRU, unfortunately for them, lose their map pick. But fortunately for Giants, they managed to pick up some crucial rounds, and they really needed that as they go up 1-0 in the series.
They absolutely do. We thought the Vamosing was going to be for KRU. Turns out it was Vamosing for Giants the entire time. It was an impeccable comeback in that second half, especially considering how much more dominant the first half should have been. There was only 1 gun round in that first half that Giants managed to pick up. KRU was looking impeccable with their attack side mid-rounding, but then we switched the sides, Giants win a couple critical rounds, and the story completely changes.
Yeah, and I think Fatinho coming in really clutch, winning the second half bonus. That was so massive. They win both pistols, they steal the bonus, like they win a thrifty because Anuke's insane C-hold. And then they get the last round right here with the satchels. I mean, so much impact coming out of this raise. That won't show on the stat sheet, but he came up so big on these really, really pivotal swing rounds.
And for Giants, once they got in the second half and they got the momentum again from a round from this guy, from Fatinho, which was this bonus, they just rolled with that all the way through. I think they did a really good job of pulling the rotations on this attacking side and also just getting early advantages. They were constantly getting picked off early from players like Keznit in that first half, but like the coach was saying there, I think they did a really good job of finding those early advantages, slowing down, waiting for KRU to reaggress, and then just grouping up and punishing in those man-up situations, which really was a big issue versus EDG.
It was a huge situation in the past, and here they closed out all of these late round situations. So many 3-on-2s went actually in the favor of Giants in this game, and Keznit had a phenomenal game. This is a game where the star duelist for KRU showed up. He went 8-3 on First Bloods. The team was +5 on First Bloods overall. It felt like everything was aligning for KRU, and it still wasn't enough.
I mean, that bottom stat, I think, is a testament to how dominant this could have been for KRU. 35% of rounds.
Wow.
Keznit was getting a first kill for his team. And in the first half, they were always converting those. But the thing is, even when they were struggling in the second, he still had a lot of those moments. This guy is always good, but it really does feel a little bit like older KRU of the regular season, who would push a team close, have some really great ideas in the first half, and then just kind of fumble the bag a little bit, lose 1 or 2 critical rounds, and the momentum snowballs out of control for them.
It felt like the same chapter in the same book.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we mentioned it before, but KRU is just a team that knows how to lose close games.
Yeah,
they do. They're experts on it.
They're so good at it.
And it's heartbreaking when you actually think about it, because just 1 or 2 things go their way, and you have a very different half for KRU. But that just goes to show how exceptional Giants are in being able to, when they're down, win those critical rounds. Because Mimi, when it's all said and done, that's what's most important. Getting the win in the round column and just upping that total, getting closer to 13.
Yeah, from watching that first half, I don't think anyone should have expected Giants to be able to come back and win that. But now that puts them in such a good position in this series, going into their map choice where they feel a lot more comfortable. Lotus was my biggest doubt for this team, and they've already checked that one off.
Well, let's continue to talk a little bit more about Giants in our aim lab shoot around as we check in with the Giant hoodie, as he's going to go ahead and shoot some orbs and run around the map for a little bit. Oh, it's actually going to be running around in Lotus. Look at him. Look at him go. In any case, though, let's take this opportunity to continue to talk more about this Giant team getting ready for Pearl. And Sean, that also had to feel quite good for Giants to be able to sneak that win away from KRU on their pick, especially with the way that game started. Giants have to be riding a high right now.
Oh, absolutely. To win a game like that, That's like one of those games that really propels a team to make a deep run in a tournament, in my eyes. Stealing a map in the way that Giants just did, your opponent's pick, and then going into a pocket pick where you've seen Crew play. We saw them lose to PRX just a couple days ago on Pearl. They know how Crew likes to play the map, and they're going to come in with some fresh ideas. Giants have to be riding real high right now.
They absolutely do, and I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup stylistically, because thus far, I feel like we haven't seen many EMEA teams be ready for the Harbor Viper comps. Just the other day, Loud versus Liquid. Liquid completely caught off guard by Loud's Harbor Viper, and that is what Crew runs here on Pearl, sticking with the meta that kind of became pretty much what everyone is running in Americas. And Giants have played around with compositions. I think they've experimented on this map more than a lot of other teams. Right now, they're playing like a Cypher double initiator comp that is a little bit unusual on this map, and I'm really wondering how they can contend with this Harbor Viper. They tend to be so oppressive, especially at taking early map control.
Yeah, and if they do run the Cypher, I think it is a decent solution for dealing with the Harbor Viper. We haven't seen that much in Americas, but comparing the two regions, EMEA hasn't really played against much Harbor Viper, and on Pearl, we know historically our region actually does really, really well on this map. I believe only one loss against other regions all time.
Which is insane. But this composition, like you're saying, beyond just a Cypher, I think the fact that they play Sky Sova, most of the time you only have the Sky on this map, or in some comps it's mainly that Sova, but you can combine that utility, put flash darts through this Harbor utility, and if you're placing that utility correctly, you really can punish, get a lot of kills on your defense, spamming through smokes before you play into those late flood retakes, which is comp is also quite good at around that Cypher utility.
Quite fascinating how all of these different, I guess, methodologies on how to approach this particular map could come to fruition. We could also end up seeing, I mean, we've seen it a few times now, teams just completely changing their compositions. Yeah. And as we go into this one here, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Instead, it is going to be the Harbor Viper going up against that double initiator and the Cypher there that Nukie is going to be locking in here, Sean.
I really do love Giants comp. Not many teams run the Sova Sky, and I just love the info, like you're saying, these two initiators can get. We haven't seen it in Americas, and I think this is a very good solution to deal with Harbor Viper.
I think it absolutely is. I also think this is going to be another exciting matchup here. We have both of these players who are generally playing on that race, switching over to the Jet here, and Keznit has normally been known for his race. GB, you were talking about how this series could be defined on those race maps, which tends to be Crew's strength. Pearl hasn't been the best for them in the past. They have picked up some big wins over teams, I believe, like Loud and Cloud9, but still, this has not been a map where Crew was ever consistently great. Giants, on the other hand, I think they found a good read, which could be good versus Harbor Viper, but they still haven't played against the comp.
Yeah, and we now get to see this composition really put to work here against Harbor Viper. This is going to be quite fascinating and how it all boils down. But the question on everyone's mind, are we going to go to a map 3? Well, Giants certainly don't want that to happen. Let's see how this one all unfolds as we send it back over to Mitch and Tom.
Thank you, GP. Yeah, well, the audience is certainly split on which way it's going to go. Luckily, that's the third map, if it does go all the way. Pearl, though, Tom, how are you feeling about Giants' chances here? I mean, just looking at the stats, it was definitely towards the bottom of the success pool for both squads.
Yeah, I think it's one of those scenarios where ultimately Giants have picked a map that started to look strong for them towards the end of the season. I think, again, compositionally, it looks pretty good for them. I think that, like, Nukie being able to lock down a lot of control is going to be something that is going to be difficult to deal with. He makes a very good A-site anchor. As said, though, this is a composition on the other side for Crew that's not really run too much within EMEA. So we'll see how they're going to be able to cope with that, if they're going to be ready for what will be a lot of those Melsa walls sectioning off angles. And for now, at least, they're going to have that aggressive push directly through Art. They're pushing, well, I want to say into the trap, but actually, Nukie's utility is not placed here at all.
Yeah, this is the one avenue that's wide open for the taking. Giants evidently suspecting more of the play towards the doors, wanting the support of flashes. Instead, they're going to have a tougher time and actually keeping these players back. See down in the pit, you've got Nukie almost isolated at this point while the rest of the team makes its way around. And yeah, he's going to be taken down once they decide to aggress for that spot.
Yeah, that is the thing with these sort of compositions. There's only so many places you can actually put your utility. I'm sure Crew have done their research of how best to try and isolate this man. Hoodie, though, has already done well, but it's Kez! Keznit just taking over. We talk about this man as a superstar. He's not quite going to close it with the ace. And in fact, Rhyme now somehow fighting back into this one. Time up against him, and the nanos are going to shred his HP. Makes the chances of this slim to almost impossible. He has to just stick this one all the way, and Nags is not going to allow for it. It's KRU to get things off to a flying start, and after losing both pistols in the last map, they'll be happy to have this one.
Oh, definitely, yeah. At the end of the day, with how close we ended up, 13-10, you take a pistol round away from Giants, and it's a different game that we're playing in that previous map. Valuable to get off to a good start, but more importantly for Keznit, 2 away from Bladestorm and feeling on cloud 9 right now. This is fantastic. The second round won't even see any investment from Giants, so we should see KRU off to a flying start, maybe even Bladestorm online for round 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. With this sort of purchase, you might be thinking, oh, Keznit has to be a little bit careful, but in fact...
Give it to him.
No, come on. Keznit getting 1 kill. He either gets 2 kills or he gets 1 kill and dies. That's how this round's going to go. And then someone else will pick up the rifle. That's why Davies hasn't bought a rifle, because he knows the one's going on the ground.
One's getting dropped when the blade
and if it's not, then he'll probably, after the 2 kills, Keznit will give it to him. Now, on the other side of things, well, they fully went towards Art last round, so Giants have decided, let's stack Art. 4 players here.
This flash contact is so important. There it is, first player spotted. Now there's the flash, but the response from KRU. They stand strong. Not a single player falling to that trap play from Giants. And it's again Nukia isolated, this time because the rest of his teammates are waiting for the next round. Just a classic in hand.
Mels is going to be 1 away as well now. So that they have nailed it when it comes to the ults. Other than Nagza getting that kill, doesn't really help them too much in the grand scale of things. But now they can make the choice of how they want to fight for the orbs in the next round. They can either go and get themselves the Reckoning and have Keznit as that entry. Maybe even they could invest into a rifle now onto Davies, which is exactly what they do, because you've got Bladestorm guaranteed for the next round. So I don't mind the idea. In fact, I love it from Giants. Like having a little contact play, you've got no weaponry to play with, just try and get some damage done. Unfortunately for them, they did do damage just on lots of different players.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was distributed a bit too evenly. Now for KRU, look at this, 3rd round, bonus round, by the way. Rifles all around, Bladestorm can come online. This is going to be a little bit ridiculous for the side of Giants. They have back-to-back buys to beat. And yeah, the Reckoning, I assume it's going to be used, having taken that orb. Look for the B site to be cleared out completely, make it very difficult for Nukia to do anything in the way of fighting this squad back. They do seem a bit hesitant, though. I think expecting some counter utility from Giants.
It's just a bit too quiet. That's all it is. Drone is going to spot a fair bit of information. Instantly becomes more of a retake setup. Although if the Reckoning does go through, Nukia is going to be somewhat trapped at the back of the site. You could see all of his utility. I think they're trying to find where the different trips will be. And with the patient positioning of Davies, they could still swap this back. The thing is, though, the time is starting to tick. So I think they're just going to hide here and hope that somebody gets a little bit greedy on the other side.
Yeah, when that doesn't happen, 35 seconds or so, Davies trying to fake it out, drag rotations, and then the ult will come through. There it is, the Reckoning in play.
30 seconds left.
What's the decision from these players? It looks like Nukia is just going to be dancing around, but he's been stunned up now. That's going to be difficult for him to really find a spot. Hold on, he's got a corner now where he's safe. He's evaded their vision, and oh no, Klaus! Lightning fast reactions to drop him, but 12 seconds, and they need to get the plant in. Nagzit is on it, and nobody can deny by the looks of things that plant is secured. KRU have lost the man advantage, though. Given over to Giants and all the chaos, doubled up on with Davies falling, and both players now in towards B Hall. Keznit and Nagzit clutching it out with no utility from the Viper and no teammates to help out. A huge play needed from Nagzit, and not today. Giants will get on the board.
Yeah, I like it from Giants. Very patient in the way that they played this round. Nukia sort of dancing around the utility. I did like the fact that KRU basically, they put snake bites in alongside the Reckoning to just make things that little bit more awkward for him. But it is just this utility combo. Like, you have the factor of the cams, the trips, but also then the darts. And that's something that I think I've really enjoyed seeing Sova on this map more recently. It's just with all of these screens, all this util to section off control, having that Sova dart or the Sova drone is so impactful for just catching someone on the cross. We saw even damage done to Keznit in the early stages of the round by just an effective cam. And that seems to be the whole idea with Giants on this defensive side. Have these little trap plays, have these ideas that get them information and free kills without actually having to take mass risks.
Here.
Round 4, as we said, not a problem for KRU. The Bladestorm certainly helping bolster out the buy, having invested into one rifle previously. And now they're stacked up, ready to fight. Orbs being contested for, being seized towards A, and that gets Giants a little curious here in all these updrafts. They've spotted a few players. That's all part of the plan. That's why KRU have left Nagsit and Davies holding down control across the map. So they're intending to rotate, hopefully selling that fake yet again or allowing Davies to thread the needle later on.
It's very patient. After the early control. I think KRU have been fantastic with their orb management throughout the series on their attack side especially. Now though, again, they go back to art. This is where they had their success in the pistol round. Information not really had, but Hoodie is watching. He'll spot Keznit, but dealing with him is a different beast.
It made it look like they were rotating B. Fatinho not here to have the initial fight at least. Hoodie isolated. That wall will go down soon. Fatinho's chance to answer up, but he goes through it and is dropped immediately. Even without the Bladestorm, Keznit proves to be deadly. And it's Nukia and Cloud now on a near impossible retake. So many opponents up against them. They've got a buddy system. There's the swing out from Nagsit after the initial contact. Really well handled. And KRU make that one look easy.
Yeah, I think now that has to be something adapted by Giants. Art control is not something they've really fought for, and it's something that a lot of the time your contact comes off your killjoy. That's where you have a lot of that information had, be it use of a turret, or even just having a lot of mid control and then having somebody actually watching towards art instead. Because of that, they've been leaving it open and playing a very passive hold, and that's just too much space for KRU. Like, the only thing that could have gone a little bit wrong for them in that round was Melsa pushing a bit further forward with the spike, but that was the plan. That wasn't just him. Like, Klaus went forward as well. Keznit was fighting forward. They clearly have a plan as a team, and because of that, they haven't been able to deal with it on the other side. Operator now in for Fatinho. It's left Rhyme just on a pistol, though, and timing just about works out for him there. He could have been dead within a second. Instead, instant util usage just to hold them back.
Some information will be stolen, you would think, but Rhyme still has the angle. Able to comfortably clear that no one has pushed up, no one's taken the space. Why would they do that? Why would they put utility in? Oh, yeah, exactly. Just in case they're hiding back, selling another fake rotation. But this time, it's deemed to be a real threat. Seems the B side is on.
Oh, wow.
Well, they're really making sure. I'm not surprised after what happened in the previous round. They want to be 100% certain that this is, in fact, a B hit, and now they know, without a shadow of a doubt.
Players. This is a big rotation from Giants. Getting everybody into position, and with 35 seconds left, there's not really time to switch things back up. Caught by Nuke's trips again, and it's going very well for Giants on the hold. Walking into that Cypher setup has been an utter nightmare, but all the util and ults used by Giants just to get them this information. What can Davies even do here? I think the best point of call is just hold on to the gun. And you look at the finances, it's not bad, but just want to make sure that they have everything for the next round.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense. Melzer's going to need a drop. Giants, though, getting out scot-free, no damage whatsoever. That's maybe a little bit too much, but there's nothing that can be done about it at this stage. Short of a wide swing out of one of those players, and they want their weapons. They want their economy to be built up. Beautiful stuff, and yeah, I saw two players past the harbor wall already. You start to think at that point, they most certainly want to compete. They want to fight for that control on the side of Giants, and I think the numbers just caught KRU off guard.
Yeah, and to get a Prime Gaming flawless as well, when you only have yourself that pistol onto Rhyme, it's huge. And he was actually one of the most pivotal players. Yeah, basically utilizing him as an extra recon almost, just sending him to fight when he didn't have a lot to lose. It does seem, though, that if KRU can figure out where Nuke is holding, avoiding his setup is the right plan. Like, getting away from wherever he is. The difference is, though, much heavier arc control. And in that space, they placed Vitinho a solid flash to help him out with that opener. And losing Melza, that's rough. It's such a hard take now without having that Harbor util.
Yeah, they've lost almost everything. You can see Nagsit, your other controller, trying to make his way down towards B. Has managed to sneak himself into a spot, but they know they've given up that control. You can see Nukia quite conscious of it, and there you go. Even more so with the camera spotting him. Here comes the drone just to confirm. Only one player spotted. Steps now heard, making their way down from the connector. About to emerge. Cloud's got a spot that's been spotted, indeed. They know exactly where Rhyme is, and they found Nukia, all the information to play with, but dealing with them's a different story. They've just seen Giants step it up, win every single duel, and leave Davies in a 1v4. 35 seconds on the clock, Spike in his back pocket, but no way forward. Two players already primed and posted to swing. Oh, okay, Vitinho goes down, but there's the double after.
Do they get the operator back? That could actually be a pretty expensive loss. There they will. It's gone.
No, they.
Yeah, he had to buy it back up.
Considering
it was up in heaven, so I don't think anybody was able to get up there in time. Everybody else was on the site, so yeah, I think they just gave up, realizing that they wouldn't get it. So it's at least something. He's going to buy it straight back up anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I do feel like KRU are now starting to struggle. Just the information game. Like it's what was said on the desk by Sean, that this composition is actually quite exciting for Giants because they basically just play against the strengths of KRU's comp, like being able to deny them that info with everything that they have. Instead, they're just droning, splashing, sending those darts through. And again, I think combining that with Nukia's hold, it means they can't really sneak anyway. Now, though, they could walk into the second round in a row. They've gone straight into that util. And I think Giants, after having a couple of rounds struggling to hold on to Art, they're so much more proactive on it now that I just don't feel like KRU are going to have the same level of success there.
Even Davies thinks that he's sneaking up, but again, this is control that has been given up, that has been conceded. Nukia's holding the way back out, just in case anyone does make it all the way down here. Even on an off angle as well. Oh, but oh no, he made a step. They know that he's here. They're watching the angle. Now he's running away. Oh no, KRU slipping up behind. They've just seen him round the corner. Davies moves towards the B side. That gets Nukia running back, and Keznit catches. KRU can go anywhere. The world is their oyster, and it's towards the B site. Only Cloud standing in wait. Okay, he'll get the first. Cloudburst lets him by some more. Cloud with 3. That might be the round.
Oh, it's just unbelievable.
Oh,
they've even got him in a grab well, but the rifle will be collected.
Not planted in the pit now, is it?
That's going to be outside, but he might still opt to play into it. Try and find himself a kill. Timing going to be everything. He's walked into Rhyme. Took a bit of a risk fighting into the pit, but it won't matter. And well, let's be honest, we know who the hero of the round is. It's not Rhyme, it's Cloud. That is just ridiculous what he was able to do. Predict the movements of his opponent. Well, this is why we sort of hyped this guy up so much within EMEA. 4-3, solid defensive start now for Giants as they've turned this around. And that's the thing. I feel like, although, like, you look at the scoreboard, Nukia's at the bottom, he's definitely had incredible amounts of impact, but you would just have to talk about how cursed that was. Like, the sort of timing for him to walk away, even had the thought in the back of his mind. And KRU's ideas were fantastic, like sending Davies the other way, taking the shot to bait Nukia back into rotating around. It couldn't have gone better for them in the early round. Unfortunately, Cloud exists.
That's it. You do absolutely everything right. Now ask yourself the question, was that a round KRU were supposed to win coming in? No, this is the one. They called a timeout, though, because that is a devastating way to lose it. The fact that it was Keznit's Cloudburst as well that allowed for Cloud to have that space to dance around, taking fight after fight. He sees the tracers coming through the Cloudburst and fires back in with precision as well. Unreal. And, you know, we saw it on the previous map. We said it there. Giants just seem to be the best team that I've seen at winning these ridiculous rounds. Rounds where you will count them out 10 times out of 10. and yet they always fight back into it. I thought at best Cloud gets 1 there. The fact that he gets even 2 is ridiculous.
They signed some of the most BS players in EMEA. Like, let's be honest. Like, Nuke has been the king of that for I don't even know how long. Like, like he will always have some of the greatest clutches in history.
Having a rough start.
Hey, the thing is though, again, it's the same as the last map where you look at stats and it doesn't tell you the full story.
Yeah.
His YouTube, like a lot of the time, he's just sat in a cam. Like he's not gonna get kills sat in a cam. And, you know, I've heard it said that it can do 5 damage, but I think that might be a slight mistake. But no, it's one of those things where he is playing the rat role.
For sure. Question really around Cypher so far though, has the utility brought them a lot of value?
Definitely.
It has in moments. The amount of space on Art and mid though that crew have been able to garner is slightly ridiculous.
Oh, look at where his util is.
Exactly. That's the response. And no longer playing it on the sites to try and catch them with trap plays and get kills. Instead, it's about securing map control. And I think this adjustment is very much what I wanted to see coming into this round.
Yeah, I will say though, like even his cam alone, in my eyes, has done more than enough. Like the amount they've garnered when it comes to these B site hits, it's just been unstoppable. The amount of assists and free kills he's got on the team has been great. Now though, again, early default round from crew, but they're only just starting to put that pressure in onto mid. You've got much more control held. The operator again, Fatinho's been in a different spot every single round. Like he entried on A, he entried deep within the A site onto R. Now he's on the cross. He has been spotted though. Does he go back for this? He does. He waits for the supportive utility. Then it comes in Dreads. Then again, the swing back, but he pops the Blade Storm. See you later, Keznit.
Even under pressure, he's able to deliver now. This is the Fatinho we wanted to see kicking off today's game, kicking off this tournament.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds, the plant needed. On the way through, Davies might catch one, but Nuke is too quick, and they know exactly where Nagzit is. Whether it was the bullets or the blades, he was going down, and Giants step up to a 2-round lead.
I love that. It's just the sort of control that they have there from Giants is you have the contact. Fatinho doesn't need to take a massive risk. He doesn't need to because they have that supportive utility. Gravwell pulls in Klaus, and then he's just there. This is where the individual brilliance comes out of Fatinho. Just pops himself that Blade Storm, puts down the major threat of Keznit, who is still up there, 8-6 on the board. But now 4 rounds in a row on the defensive side for Giants. They're looking very good indeed. Blade Storm available once again, this time on the attack, and a lockdown alongside it, but it's almost a game of sort of cat and mouse, as there is a Hunter's Fury ready for Cloud.
Ooh. Blade Storm attempt, you'll love to see it. No reward for the first 1-up draft left to try that somewhere else a little later into the round. Keznit, ever dangerous with this Blade Storm, but you've got to be cautious on clearing a lot of these angles just because of how annoying Fatinho has been in these early fights. That's 2 players spotted on mid. The flash, not likely to get too much, blinding up the Tiger a moment, delaying its progress. They haven't spotted Rhyme. That's something. Fatinho looking the other way on A main. The Blade Storm gets an opportunity to step forward, force a fight, and up and in he goes! There's one for Keznit, but he can't react in time as Fatinho drops him. And another kill for the side of Giants leaves Malzer and Davies to do it all, hoping that maybe this Reckoning can make it too difficult for Fatinho to find a shot, and that seems to hold true, but Blade Storm, or Hunter's Fury, has come through. It's trying to find Malzer, it's getting close, but he's evaded it.
They're going to use the lockdown. This is crew expending almost everything in a round where one of their players is just on 30 HP, desperately trying to get themselves into an afterplant scenario. And now realizing that the site will be as safe as it can be. The thing is, though, the advantage still massively in the favor of Giants as they head into this retake.
They should have this on lockdown. Trading on the way through. It's Cloud that's going alone, has a recon for late round as they posture up to move on through. But Nuke has been isolated. A great peek from Davies, the timing near perfect. He's heard Cloud as well. Has a good idea that he's coming from this angle. The recon not going to find Davies. Actually, it will. And so will Fatinho, but Malzer's behind. It's a whiff! Now they're defusing it, and Malzer has to rush in, has to deny this up close. And Cloud will claim the fight. That could have been everything for the side of KRU, and instead, the lead extends yet again in Giants' favor.
Yeah, it's just unlucky. Like that they line up for him, and instead of at least taking down one and turning it into a clutchable position, he hits both of them low. Just a little bit cursed, if anything, from Melza. Vitinho, ever since he's had this operator in hand, he has been a massive threat. Him and Cloud leading the way for Giants. 6 rounds, half already in their hands, and it's sort of similar to what we saw in the last map. The first half for Giants, well, the fact is this could be an incredibly dominant half if it wasn't for the pistol and second round loss. They have definitely been on point. That's the first time that Vitinho has actually gone down off the opening fight. He's been winning it every time with the operator.
A huge scalp to claim for the side of KRU, and even more so, getting that operator into the hands of a man like Keznit. Now KRU pose a pretty significant threat to Giants in every corner they round, and this is a round where they didn't have a lot to work with already. A promising start. 1 minute and 7 seconds on the clock, and KRU can take this anywhere. I mean, they're all grouped up on mid, so it's an equal risk, but it looks like Keznit's going to be going back out for more, just about missing these players. The swing's coming through a little lower than he was expecting, and Nuke is able to win it back.
Oh, in fact, he goes in for a little bit more. Wants to try and do as much damage as he can. And actually, it almost goes very badly wrong. Rhyme trying to pounce. Now KRU, they picked up weapons. This definitely had some vulnerabilities at the beginning of the round. The fact is now it's into a 3 versus 3, pushing off the back of the Tiger. You can see the Cosmic Divide utilized to try and section off aim. Fortunately, there's only one player actually sat from that angle. The rest are waiting on R. There's even a late alarm bot. Cloud thought he might have had the drop on them, but not today.
Yeah, luckily Davies was staying in range that whole time. But with Klaus down, the pressure is certainly on. Melzer, operator, having to walk through the wall. It's about to fade. Davies up close, spotted and taken down. It's all on the up, and the shot is missed. He needs to find this diffuser. In his mind, they're already diffusing, and there's barely any time left. That's a whiffed shot, and Hoodie applies the pressure with every second remaining. That stick was in from Rhyme, and 7 now on the board for Giants. A lot of these rounds have been close, Tom. Even that one where they have next to nothing starting it out, bar the one rifle. But somehow KRU not able to close out any of these close affairs.
Yeah, it's been 4 diffuses in a row for the side of Giants. They've definitely been in on these retakes in close scenarios. And unfortunately, a lot of these fights at Davies there, you kind of expect him to win. Melzer, I think one of those kills might have even been saved by a cabbage. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter for the side of Giants. 7 and 3 in the lead. Their players are looking in form. And now they're going to try and go back towards this B site. Set up, ready is Vitinho. As I said, I think he's lost one of these opening duels, and well, he'll miss another one, but he has left Cloud behind. Now, they saw him up on that spot. The thing is, though, KRU, well, I think almost luckily, are going to go fading away. The early duel not going in their favor. They sell that idea in the minds of Giants. There's 3 players currently on that side of the map, but guess whose setup is on A? That's why Giants are so confident.
Tiger through mid, spotted Davies. It's not a ton of information. Lurking Killjoy, even if they were still going for B, is certainly a possibility, even a probability as well. Nobody spotted mid. Now, at this point, yeah, I like this. The shift over from Rhyme. He's now watching that double door potentially. It's freeing up Hoodie to go on the rotate, which he's going to do. He'll be ready for this retake, but the decision is made to retake. Remember that early pistol round, Nuki got caught in this corner. He won't have that happen again.
No, also Reckoning. It just reveals his position, stuns him up. He can't even sit within any of the util that he has. It's just not worth it. If he can get a kill, Neural Theft available to reveal the rest. Instead, they actually go swinging out, and it's just a shutdown. Luckily for them, they have someone as good as Keznit to make this round look competitive once again. A push coming through from Art as well. They have to be careful about it. Even know that he's there, but knowing and stopping him is another thing altogether. Nuke left alone. He'll put down the first. Somehow turning this back into a 1 versus 1. Davies' util will buy him the extra time that he needs. Surely at this point, the clock is too far gone, and he will find the kill anyway. A clutch round going the way of KRU as they'll get up to 4.
Great decision-making from Keznit as well, just overwhelming Rhyme as he was on the rotate back through. That dash certainly got him by surprise.
The thing is, he would have known he's there because he was getting pinged up by the dart.
See, that's the thing, though. The ping came in as Rhyme was getting his weapon out. So, like, he did react to it, but he saw him ping on sight, thought, oh, there's no one here, I'm good. And then here's the dash, puts 2 and 2 together a little bit too late. You give Keznit that millisecond advantage in an aim duel, you're not winning the aim duel. 7-4, 1 round left to compete for, and KRU, look, it's definitely not too far gone yet. Building up rounds on that attack side. We'll see if they can find a 5th.
Wouldn't be ideal, but definitely would be workable, especially with the changes that have come into this map, although I say a lot of those changes kind of help out when you're running a more normal controller.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you as much, but you could use the poison ore for the same sort of cross to be held. Even still, though, if Giants get up to 8 rounds on this defensive side, we'll definitely be singing their praises. They've looked very good thus far, especially considering the pistol loss. And KRU have to actually try and get this 5th round onto the board. Vitinho has been shut down a little bit over the last couple of rounds, but he's still going to hold the control, more importantly.
Steadfast with that up. And they've spotted the control that's being lost. They know there's players coming up through that double door. Nice kill on the Davies, the lurker, and now we look towards the B side itself. Cloud's already been deleted. Nukem ready for someone up top, but they came down below, rushing it through. Grabbing a plant. The advantage now seems to be theirs. With this plant, Keznit gets Bladestorm too. And he wants to use it immediately. Popped Klaus up close, and he runs into the operator. Now things get dangerous. A Bladestorm on each side, but Keznit has 2 targets to take down, and one of them is Vitinho, who has been on fire. This is a weird position, though, for the plant spot. This could catch them off guard.
Oh, maybe not. No, they're going to be smoking it off. But the thing is, this could actually help him out, because he's going to sit here. They're going to witness the plant for long. And I don't know if they'll check this late. No, it's being checked by Rhyme, holding it for at least a second. But in this 1 versus 2, they're going to start running out of places to check. Still, though, Keznit lands the 1st and 2nd. Of course he does. Oh, Reliable does it again as KRU will garner a bid.
Now that's the half we wanted. Giants looking strong, picking up a lot of rounds, but KRU get that response right at the last second. A beautiful display from this squad, and a Red Bull clutch to close it out. That's certainly going to put the wind in your sails. So smartly played as well. Every second of this from Keznit calculated. He believed they wouldn't stick it on the initial run, and he was right to. Pros don't fake. And like you see there, we got Lembo and Tyler down in the crowd reacting to that last round. And I believe we'll even be hearing from them in just a moment. Let's toss it down to the audience to hear from the super fans, Lembo and Tyler.
If you've watched the regional leagues and you've watched the LCQs, you've seen these 2 on the crowd. I'm joined by Tyler and Lembo. And after that round, the energy was high for you, Tyler. Tell me, you're a big KRU fan. Where did that start?
Oh, it comes from my friend Alejandro. Man went to every single America's KRU game through playoffs, and I met him in playoffs for LCQ, and his energy just transferred all the way over to me. And I mean, I wouldn't be here without him right now, and it's just amazing to be here and support KRU. Vamos KRU!
Absolutely. And for you, Lembo, you've been a part of Giants, you've been a fan of Giants, you've been following Giants for such a long time. Tell me, what has the journey been like, the highs, the lows, and even the rounds that we just saw?
No, but for us this is incredible because we come from Andalusia in Spain. It's so long, but we are very excited for participating in Champions. It's the first time for the club, and each round is like a final for us. Therefore, it's very difficult because we love KRU obviously and probably KRU too, and we are friends. But today we are the worst enemy. The important is that today win the better, but tomorrow we stay together. This is important.
All right, and very quickly, who's going to pop off on this half?
Oh, we already saw from Keznit. He's going big this game.
What about Giants?
Lion will destroy in this band.
All right, we're going to see what's going to happen. Let's send it back to the casters.
Well, you heard of big numbers to be fielded by Keznit already. He's holding true to that. More than double the kills from the next man on his team. I'd say that's a pretty good performance.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. I think he's going to have to go above 30 if they're going to be able to take this one over the line. But the thing is, he's going to go on to that defensive side. And although we didn't see much from them last time out versus Paybreaks, his defensive side operator when it came online, just him on the defensive side in general, was something to fear and something that I'm sure Giants will have considered. Already, just look at where KRU are going. They never just sit back when it comes to their pistols. They're constantly looking to fight. The fact is, though, Giants are not. They're sat there watching for any sort of aggression, for any of these plays to come through, a good read on what their opponents are attempting, and now nothing has been seen. They're going to start doubling back towards this B site, which is exactly where Davies has his full setup.
That's spotted. Davies now has a decision to make. Giving up the control. Turret has been destroyed. Alarm bot, though, still covering the close cross, but he's called for reinforcements. And those reinforcements are coming through. The spawn crew, though, will be running right into the full force of Giants as they look to rotate. Firing squad waiting. That's evidently caught Giants by surprise. The flash a little late, followed up on Fatinho. Able to grab one, but they're blinded in return. It's a skirmish for the spawn. And it looks like Giants might win it, but Nexit has other ideas. Already with 3, and there's his 4th. KRU stands strong on the shoulders of Nexit.
Yeah, he's someone who, in the past for this roster, has come under fire, but definitely stepping up when it comes to this round, and even going straight in for the rifle. A huge pistol round for KRU. It's almost a reverse of the last map. Like, the buy rounds were mostly going the way of KRU in that first half of map 1, unable to take the pistols. Now they've taken both pistols and look to try and recreate what Giants did in that second half of Lotus. A chance to take us to split, which, I'm going to be honest, I think everybody in this room would like to see. But here we go, though. Attack side is going to just be Cloud investing into a Sheriff. See if he can make it costly.
Now let's see what damage can be done. The Marshal on Keznit already firing off. Luke has been left down to 24. Somehow the Classic wins that fight. Damage done again. It should be followed up on a little bit later, but we don't want to see too many more weapons dropped for the side of KRU. Nice clean round from this point forward would be ideal. Giants want to take it elsewhere. The Bulldog on Hoodie leads the charge towards the B site, and it is once again Davies stood waiting for this charge to come through, and he will give up a lot of this control. You don't want to be overwhelmed by the pistols, especially now as you suspect they'll have a better weapon. I hope he doesn't go through this smoke.
Yeah, it's an awkward smoke to fight through. In fact, it's left a massive gap up top.
Spike down.
Somewhat a one-way for the lower, but definitely doesn't do the same when it comes to above. Giving Keznit an angle is never a great idea. There's already a couple of players lower. Plant, hey, it wouldn't be bad. An extra few credits. A long spot being taken as well. It leaves Nuke, and hey, he gets an extra one. 2 kills, a plant, not bad for Giants, but I don't think KRU are going to be too upset with that one.
No, they certainly won't. At the end of the day, 3 players alive, it's a bare minimum for this kind of round. Got a decent chance to fight back into the next one as well. That's KRU equalizing the scoreline now, 7-7, with both pistols under their belt. Again, similar to the previous map, when we swapped over half, it had been one team leading in the rifle rounds, and then it swapped hands. I think the difference here is that KRU chose to start out on that attack side. So how much can we expect from their defense? And will Giants be able to find that value? And someone like Fatinho, who had some great opening duels earlier, he needs to repeat that here on the attack.
But that's the thing, he really does take contact with a lot of these rounds. You'll see him dashing into the side, leading the way. Oh, Rhymes, got to be a little bit careful here. But an early shutdown of B long, something expected to be challenged. A lot of utility set up over on this B side of the map. And bear in mind, this purchase is only just the pistols alongside the weapons they had before. It leaves them in quite a bit of trouble to actually hold on to this site, and with Fatinho already kicking things off, not a bad start to the round.
Said it needs to be good on opening duels, and well, there's the first at least. Has been tagged up, as well as some of his teammates, and the rifles are still to have their say in this round on the side of Crew. Wallbank's not quite landing. Fatinho on another, and now he's got the support of Hoodie, going to be much more willing to swing through and help him. Damage done, Davies down. Keznit tagged through the wall, and it looks like Fatinho was on for the ace. Keznit on the other side to shut him out, but still 3 opponents left to take down, and it's too much to ask. 8 rounds, Giants retake the lead, but the first big full buy for the side of Crew is yet to come.
I feel like I'm being teased throughout this game. The amount of 4Ks we're seeing with no aces to close it out. It looks like it's set up every single time. But yeah, this is what we come to expect from Fatinho on this map. He is so happy to almost just dive in first, take those fights, and, well, you might not be able to rely on him to do that every single round. You can maybe expect it once or twice throughout this matchup. Bladestorm already online for either side, and the Operator, as said, it was a huge part of the defensive rounds that Crew managed to take versus Paper X. Paper X, very different beast in terms of their composition, but he has been flying high so far in this matchup, and expectations are that he's not going to be stopping anytime soon.
Crew's buy round with Keznit on the Operator. That's where things get truly scary, but for now, utilized on the wrong side of the map. No way for them to know that, but smoke down as well in front of the turret. You can see that on double doors. So for Crew, they're losing information without really knowing it.
Yeah, they've got Klaus back towards the spawn though. He's been like sort of jiggling back and forth. Just gonna use his flash in towards Art. I think it's though again, I feel like Giants are expecting there to be some sort of push across the map. A lot of the time with this Viper Harbor, you're able to sort of lock down an angle and then pressure off the back of it. Instead now they go pushing in towards this mid-connector. Mouser again just looking to try and delay as much as possible, even throwing down the Cove as something they'll have to try and break through. They've only got 20 seconds here, Mitch.
Yeah, the time is incredibly low, and they still have utility to fight their way through. Davies tucked in a corner, might have a chance to do some damage. He's popped the nano, they don't expect him then! But he's only good for the one. An attempt to deny this spike plant, and it will not be found. So Keznit now in a 1 versus 3, has to try to fight back through, get that defused. Bladestorm activated, op in hand, and he's on his way. He's being revealed. They know not to overpeak him, not to give him that chance. It'll be off a flash if it comes through at all. And I think the contact off a sound cue more so. There it is. Oh, nice attempt. But in the end, it wasn't going to go his way. Too many players waiting on the other side. And Giants now on 9, having destroyed the full buy of Crew, might just leave them onto an eco, put them on the home stretch for the attackers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We now have to start talking about what this match means for either side. Giants looking to fight for a rematch versus EDG. A close game the first time out, and for Crew, if they lose this map, they're out. That's it. Their miracle run, which was through a 0-9 season all the way from the very beginning of LCQ to now, could be ending in defeat. But the fact is, you can never count this team out. When the pressure is on, it seems like that's when they arise. And unfortunately for them, this round, not likely to be the turning point. The thing is, though, I like that round from Giants. Even though they were late into that site, they were methodical. Even with a couple of sneaky plays coming out from the defense, they were very good on their trading. It is something we talk about a lot when we speak of Giants as their structure, their fundamentals. A lot of buzzwords. For now, though, it's just a stack on the A site. And with already Fatinho taking a lot of space, nothing really being spotted, it's going to be patient from Giants. There's no doubt about that. But if they walk up into this B site, there is no one here.
You don't always get the reward for that patience. Sometimes delaying this long sees Crew rotate already and now stacked up on B. But that's not the case in this reality. Giants seem to have some free control. They'll be able to walk their way in, grab a plant, and then have just pistols and a marshal to deal with in the post plant.
I've got
Maybe
your 30 seconds left.
strength in numbers can come into play. And look, they're not even certain. It's too quiet here. They're sending out Seekers to try and confirm. They've done just that. They know everybody's off site. Over towards double doors are the closest players. Maybe the pace from someone like Keznit could catch them off. Already pretty close. Marshal in hand. Shot fired off. Nothing landed though. And that's his dash already burned. Rhyme knows the player reloading close, but now he's overstayed his welcome a little bit. It's getting scary. The shots aren't hitting either. Patino has to hightail it out of here. Left on 40. He's actually gonna... Oh, okay. I was gonna say the shorty out, but somehow he got the kill with it. Great damage done, but at the end of the day, it's a round win for the side of Giants. Certainly cost them more than they would have liked, but everything important carrying through in the credits there to back them up.
Yeah.
Crew 3 behind, and this is a buy round that means everything to them.
Well, all I'm going to say is thank God for Hoodie. Like, if he doesn't manage to basically quickly adjust his aim to kill both of those players off as they swing him together, that round could have very easily gone the other way.
I can't tell if that was a high five or his way of saying stop talking.
No, stop it. That's exactly how Pipson talks, by the way. Perfect impression.
This is actually
10-7. As said, for Crew, this screams elimination. If they can't manage to turn this back and turn it back soon, the operator will be back in hand once again, and the Giants guys are having a great time, looking to get themselves that first victory at Champions, something that many teams have turned up to international events and failed to do. The fact is, though, they are well on their way. As said, in this map, they've lost both pistols, and even within the first few rounds of this half, they are firmly within the lead. Unless there's going to be a drastic change in what Crew have to offer, you have to feel like this is theirs to take. Even still, though, I've learned throughout history over the last few years, you never, ever doubt Crew, and you especially never doubt Keznit.
Listen, I've been there many times before, Tom. I've
certified hater.
Since almost. I can't even deny it, looking at the history, and every time they come out swinging and prove me wrong. Thought that's what I was doing for them with the 2-0 prediction, but
maybe.
We'll see. There's still plenty of runway ahead of them, but this buy round could be a turning point for the side of Crew.
It has
Operator,
to be.
It very much does. If they stumble here, Giants are knocking on victory's door and only need one more.
I feel like that was the moment, Cargon. I have just seen Keznit with an operator.
Run.
Let's go back. But the thing is, Keznit gone. They've just seen me with an operator. I'm going to go to the other side of the map. And he's stacked up. They've got 4 players on A right now. If they were to hit this throughout, this is the best opportunity the Crew could possibly have, with almost their entire team waiting for this take.
Seekers going out, confirming that they're walking into this stack, but hold on, how much utility is being seen by the side of Giants? Did they get spooked now? They've seen Seekers, they see Killjoy utility, they've seen a snake bite as well. Sure, 1 burned up already. Little bit of weight off your shoulders, and actually it's 2. I don't know if they know that though. Exit has none left. No utility, just a rifle player now. Same thing for Davies. They've burned it up. And I like the idea, okay, so they've pumped the brakes, hoping the Crew think it's a fake, hoping the Crew think it's the B-side instead, and they do because Keznit's rotated.
Left.
There's 3 players now in position to hold this off, and kind of awkward for them. They've got to time this run through perfectly. Davies got 1, no punish until Cloud comes through, but Klaus is there to catch him. Patino in an awkward spot. He's good for 1, but that's it. No escape. With the plant coming in eventually, Giants find themselves behind at 2 versus 3 now in front of them. And one of those is still Keznit.
The thing is, though, if you'd want anybody, Nuke, Rhyme, post-plant positions, looking to just try and play off of each other. Nuke holding patiently for the swing, but Mel's is going to win that fight. And now the IGL of Rhyme, he has to spam away. Needs to get rid of this cove, which he has done, but the smoke leaves it impossible. They're going to defuse under his nose. Crew will hold the line and begin what is a much-needed comeback.
That was the round for them, as we said, a potential turning point for the squad. Now sitting at 10-8. The economy's still good for Giants, but Crew have got a little bit of a credit, a bankroll to work with.
I think the main thing is the ults. The fact that all they really utilized in that round was the Seekers. Threw that in to just basically get them that information for sure that they were going in that direction. Now, though, Viper's Pit, Reckoning, Lockdown as well. They have perfect ultimates for any form of retake. Once again, a similar setup, but this time it seems like Giants are going for a much more direct approach. It could just be an attempt to farm up the orb, but they've taken further control here.
As you said, those ultis, a big weight off the shoulders of Crew if they do have to go for retakes. Huge potential. to shut Giants out post-plant. They're seeing utility on its way. Snake bite down. Landed perfectly on the stairs, but it doesn't matter. It's enough to deter, you would think. Maybe not, though, because Vitinho's gone up and over into the site. Reckoning in play. Sorry, lockdown, excuse me. It was the Defender Killjoy ultimate. That's why we see the response of a Hunter's Fury to destroy it. The crew still have managed to hold on to this control. There are 5 players sat here waiting for the side of Giants to go for that plan so they can burst out and take them down. The flash used by Klausner. They don't have another one if they do want to actually execute, but that was just checking that they're still here.
Oh, the spam. Rhymes had to pretty much move completely out of there, and now the Reckoning, 30 seconds left. Are they actually going to hightail it all the way back around to the B side? The thing is, I think they will have heard each other's steps. Nuke was right up against that wall. I think he knows that Keznit is already making his way round in towards the site. He needs to hit this shot, and he will. Exactly when needed. The rest of the players, they should save. There's no way that Rhyme gets a plant in from here. The others out towards long. Crew, again, have been able to hold them back. The high impact ults and the shots just not missing. The difference now down to just 1.
They're hunting him too. Rhyme won't get away with his life or his rifle. Further cost added to the side of Giants if they do want to go for a buy. And with just 1 round in the lead, the big thing is that Crew felt like they had full control in that round. They were defending the right side every single time. The rotations were on point, and Giants had no surprise up their sleeve. That's why we see a timeout called for this squad as Pipson attempts to level the playing field moving into round number 20.
Yeah, again, it's something we've seen from him throughout. Early pauses before the point of no return. And that's the thing, just moments ago we were looking at that point for Crew. A realistic problem where if they lose a round, their economy would have been in the bin, and Giants could have already closed out this map. Instead, we're down to just 1. Started to really come online. Different players stepping up as well. Nags had a couple of decent rounds. I think Davies showing up, and yeah, okay, Keznit still at the top of the ball with 21 kills. It has been the Jets on either side leading the fragging department. But this is where Giants need to find that gap. And the thing is, I think that a lot of what we've seen so far is almost just reliance on Keznit to hold on to that B side while they stack up on A, not allowing those same sort of executions, a lot of wallbang spams as well to try and make things more awkward. And more importantly, the ults were very impactful over the last couple. They do have a Viper's Pit, but that's the only ult online in the entire server at the moment.
Again, retake potential for the side of Crew. With that pit online, they can stop a push, but by the looks of it, they want to make a push right away. The A site has a lot of players from Crew, and it's a good thing they've been spotted with that cam out from Nukia. He knows there's aggression, and he'll back off, giving the control. There's not a quick response from Giants, though. It's not like they go blitzing down into B, conscious that there could just be 1 or 2 players moving up on A. They could be waiting, baiting them into a trap elsewhere on the map. That's not the case. And they're just going to go info finding in the mid-round.
Yeah, just stalling a little bit. You can see still Mouse's utility just... They don't know how much control Giants have actually taken, so they're happy to just section off that connector. Art is going to be the main pressure point, but the thing is, with Nags so far forward, he could make this very awkward for them. He could even put a pit that cuts off both angles if he really wanted to. The fact is, though, that's more of just a ruse. And again, the read coming out from Crew is spot on. The majority of their players, at least for the moment, are going to be in the right place at the right time. The thing is, though, already forcing 1 off the angle, the drone getting so much info as they look to pressure in.
I've seen Davies going through the smoke to try and take that fight. Ryan got surprised by it. Davies is still going. That's his 3rd kill. With Cloud falling, the spike is on the floor, and so is Hoodie. Nukia soon to follow suit. He'll pick up 1 on the Keznit, but still 3 players to take down. 15 seconds, a spike to be planted. They will never allow this to happen. And there you go, Davies with his 4th of the round. Crew are still alive, and now they're looking for the lead.
Yeah, no, they're starting to really turn this one onto his head. It's been 3 rounds in a row. You've seen as well, just Davies, it was wild. Like, the fact is, I almost feel like that was just an attempt to try and defend Keznit. Like, he gets tagged up by the drone, he's stuck at the back of the site, there's util flying, and I think in that moment, Davies realized, okay, I have to make a play. I have to take a risk, and his risk paid off perfectly. The fact is, over the last few rounds, Giants have been falling into the trap, the more stacked up side of the map. And actually, it's been mostly site control. Like, even just look at where the alarm bot is right now. It's just to stop them getting into the spawn. Everything else, crew have just been going, okay, let's push A, let's hold B. We're not going to actually play the middle parts of the map at all.
They certainly haven't needed to. You saw Giants attempt at that on the defense, but crew were always able to thread the needle, sneak up behind them, and just cause headaches. Crew, though, seems to be a lot more success, at least so far.
Giants have picked up the pace, though. I think they're starting to realize, okay, well, the last few rounds we managed to clear this for free, so rather than spending a lot of utility to do that, let's just sprint through at the beginning of the round and see what we find. And well, now they managed to get here about 30 seconds earlier.
It's all about trading. If someone was there confident in their individual ability, and they better be, because on the way out, they're going to see Melzer, but they haven't seen the operator standing on the site. Keznit peeks out and says hello to Fedinho. They need to find him, and they can't root him out. Here's the Blade Storm to back him up. He'll be safe for a moment while those Seekers fade away. And now he can set up back in the spawn for more. 2 kills under his belt already, and 2 left on the board with Nukia and Rhyme. A safe plant found. Does he even have anything to get out of here? No stars, none refreshing. Rhyme is just a pure duelist now, has to take fights, and he'll get nothing done. Leaving it to Nukia. If anyone was going to clutch from this position, it would be this man. He starts it out well with Keznit down. He hears the steps of the others, but they're about to round the corner. He's flashed, he's blinded, and he's not able to find this. Surely, the snake bite up and over his head. Nags it, shooting below it. 11 on the board. The lead is for crew.
And the fact is as well, like, you watch them go identical play. Because that's the thing, a lot of these rounds from crew have been adapting their stacks, almost gambling on the side of a map. So I don't mind it from Giants. They go, okay, last round we really took our time to split through that connector and make our way onto this B site. Let's do it much faster and hope they don't rotate in time. The problem is, not only did they rotate in time, but this time they didn't tag up Keznit. Yeah. And that's the difference. Like, you tag up Melzer, you take him down, but there is still the biggest threat on the side of crew, standing at the back. 25 and 16, a difference maker. Well, I don't need to point it out to you. You could see that at home already.
No, it's an unbelievable performance from this man. We said that Fedinho was dangerous in opening duels, but wow, Keznit, not only for the first, he's always good for 2 or 3 more afterwards. It's the scary thing. Now on the way in, Klaus has already opened it, and Fedinho won't have any success. No space found as he finds himself down and out of the round before his teammates make it out of A main. This is a troubling start to this attacking round for Giants. Losing out on this one, a lot of players won't have money for the next, and crew will be knocking on victory's door with 12 to 10. We need to see something from these attackers, and they're hoping they can find success on B.
It's a site that's currently empty, but we've witnessed it already from crew. They are happy to play off their advantages. I think with the time gone, and with the flash going through, this might be where we start to witness a rotation. In fact, no, everybody still just sat on the other side of the map. It has been quite often the case for Giants to just pause and then hit the same site. So it looks like they're just going for that hard read, and if they're wrong, well, it will just be the hit in towards the site, but you can start seeing them shuffling. Keznit already making his move. And of course, if you're on the Giants side, you're not going to expect this. You're not going to expect 0 players to be on B, so you have to take your time.
The reality is, crew's retakes have already been on point. Left. Add to that the fact that they have the Viper's pit if things get a little scary.
And almost all their util. Like, look how much util, other than Davies, which for obvious reasons is on the ground, they still have the Tiger, they still have a Flash, they still have all of the smokes, they still have a snake bite. Like, and they might not even need it, because they got Keznit, who's just gonna pop ahead a second as well. Like, they don't even need any of the util when this man's around. It just wipes them out, makes it look easy. A Prime Gaming flawless for crew, as they now sit 1 round away from taking us to a 3rd map, to taking us to split. Exactly where we wanted to end up within this series. The Giants, well, they need an answer, Mitch.
They most certainly do. And the side of Giants will seek that answer out in the brain of Pipson. who no doubt will be hitting WPM that's never been seen before. The words per minute about to go off the charts. See him taking notes there in the previous round. That was flawless for the side of KRU, and it very much looked that way. 12-10, 2 chances for KRU to close this and push us all the way to split. The third map in this series, and frankly, a map that we deserve to see.
It must be really frustrating for Giants as well, because at this point, KRU have basically just given them the keys to the castle. They've gone, you can have the whole map. We'll give you absolutely everything except the sites. And you can try and make it work. We'll just hit the shots. We'll land our utility. And well, in most cases, it's just been those firefights. Every single one of them have been going KRU's way. Financially off the charts, and unfortunately for the side of Giants, the ults they have online, they're not the ones that win your rounds. Like, you might be able to get something done to get into the site with the Cosmic Divide, but when you look at the fact they have a lockdown and a Viper Spit, like, Nax hasn't needed to use it. He's been sat on that for ages.
That's the thing, yeah, we mentioned it a long time ago about the potential of it, and we haven't seen that potential just yet. Hasn't been needed, and with the last round being flawless, yeah, he would have been a lunatic to go throwing it in. The work being done by Keznit is clear. 27 kills. Tom, you said he needs to go probably above 30.
He's almost there.
He's real damn close.
Yeah.
And even with 1 round left, I think there's a possibility we get there. Even look at him. He's starting this round out in the right position. All 5 targets on his way. A target-rich environment. Let's see if he can farm up the kills. Drone already destroyed, and he's biding his time. He's letting them feel safe. Finally, they've realized he's here, and it hasn't cost them one of their players. Thankfully, a blind shot through the smoke not landing either. But he hasn't had the chance really out in the open again. He will in just a moment, but with Klaus going down, with Melzer falling, now more than ever they need Keznit.
Yeah, more direct approach from Giants. Back to basics. They've been playing down the time, and the run and gun is what works out for them. Trading effectively back to those fundamentals. Still, though, plenty to play with. The thing is, though, with Keznit gone, in fact, Nuke, he's just worked out as the entry fragger in this one. A completely different style to everything we've seen from Giants, but whatever it is, it's working. And what Vanax did, look, financially, they could just try and make this one costly, but it isn't going to make a difference. An 11th round, a blip on what has been a huge streak of rounds for KRU. But the fact is, one more blip, and we go to overtime.
Well, that's Keznit not hitting the shots with the operator, which is a serious rarity. I find it hard to believe we'll see that again. But with Nuke getting close, he was able to find all the value. As we said, he had a very slow start to the game on that defensive side, but certainly coming alive in the last few. 1 round left in regulation, either map 3 or overtime, about to be decided. And once again, Keznit seems to be in the right place. He's on B long, operator in hand, and plenty of players on their way. And there's his shot again. It will fail to find its mark. He's a backup rifle to play with, though.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a surprise. Again, the same style of execution. This time with the Cosmic Divide, though, he's spamming with that Phantom. Does a little bit of damage, but nothing to really write home about. They're just going to try and hold on to some of that control. At least it seemed. Lockdown is available for Davies, though. This will force them back that little bit further. Hoodie, for now, pressuring forward, but it feels like they almost have to fall back. Instead, though, no, they wait. They use the Hunter's Fury to deny that extra space and leave it into a 5v5 retake.
Yeah, they waited a moment just to delay KRU as they're waiting for the lockdown to come through. It's finally destroyed. Now they have to go back into all these positions and clear them out the old-fashioned way. And it's not going well. Giants already with 3. Keznit tries to have his hero round, but Cloud steps up. 12-12. We go again. Pearl overtime.
Well, he didn't make it past 30. That's what it was. 29.
Well, you didn't say in regulation.
29.
You said for him to win, for them to win the game, to win this map, he needs more than 30.
It's assumed.
He's going to do it now.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. I will say, though, I like the fact that Pipson definitely took notes out of the book of Paper X.
Yep.
If things ain't working, just go for that B play.
Disrespect him.
Solid work from the side of Giants. As said, like, they definitely have those fundamentals down to a T, the trading, Sublime, the supportive utility, and it seems like maybe just the overthinking of it. As what has cost them, or maybe just the pressure has got to KRU. They were looking down and out before the 5-round streak. 10-7 was the scoreline in favor of Giants. Now they have a chance once again to take this over the line in 2.
I think we're robbed if we don't go all the way to split. Giants, on that defensive side, they've looked good in some of these bye rounds. The challenge was really holding on to art control, holding on to mid. They put Vitinho here, and he's taking Keznit out, following up for more. Surely he stops here. The dash online. We don't want to see him overheat because it's a 5 versus 2. Malzer and Nagsit with it all to do. KRU may just be mounting their defense, facing down the barrel of elimination.
You need the ultimate amount of croupium to believe they'll be able to take this round over the line. Art was one of their major successes in the early rounds of this matchup. Something very quickly adapted to by Giants. And now Melzer left in an impossible clutch. 1 versus 5. I have to believe they're going to have to try and do this once again on their own defensive side. Nothing to be found. A prime gaming flawless for Giants to take this one to match point, and for KRU, elimination just 1 round away.
Match and series on the line. Life at the international event about to be stolen away, and for KRU, being a champions, they want to push all the way to playoffs. They want to be one of those top 8 teams. For now, they're in trouble. And it seems we've got a...
This is a double timeout. I don't know if it's the first. I think we've definitely seen it before. I think it actually happened with Na'Vi Liquid as well, because some of the brothers at the same time used their psychic powers. This time, I can understand it. For Giants wanting to sort of calm the nerves, they definitely had that poor run within the attack side, and maybe almost wanting to put doubts into the minds of their opponents of whether or not they're just going to rush B again, because that was their initial strategy, their initial plan. And for the side of KRU, it's leveling themselves. They know they can do it on the defense. They've shown it throughout this. It might even be the decision of whether they want to bring in the operator as well, because ultimately it was something that initially was doing fantastically well, but over the last couple of rounds, Keznit wasn't really hitting with it. I might just want to switch things back up to the rifle.
It's interesting as well, you know, for those of you that don't know, double timeout, it's not one team calling 2. You get your extra timeout when you move into OT, and Giants called for 1, and KRU want to take theirs off the back of it. And I think you can very much understand why they would do that. They are 1 round away from being eliminated, and 3 rounds away from pushing to another map, to potentially winning the series and progressing on in this tournament. This is not somewhere you want to leave that timeout on the table and think, what if? What if we took that extra second to think?
For sure, especially for, as said, the story of KRU. It's always one to excite. Going back to 2021, making it into that top 4, so close to a final. 2022 not quite being the same sort of run, losing to FPX a couple of times, going out in groups. And then this year, 0-9. All the way back, making that run through LCQ. For Giants on the other side, expectations were pretty much for them to make it to Tokyo. Fell a little bit flat, and then made it into LCQ fairly clean in the end. Didn't even have to show too much to opponents. Now we get to see if they can do it here, get their first victory at Champions, get that rematch versus EDG, or if KRU will be a thorn in their side once again.
A revenge match on the line for Giants. I can't let that occupy their mind just yet, though. 1 round away from locking it in. No operator. Instead, it's the rifles and an aggressive stance from KRU. Beginning it and pushing up and around this corner on A, spamming through, but not able to force an open fight. The cage blocking sight lines, and Giants want to speed up. I thought they were going to split A for a second, but it's the right call. Clearing out this space they've seen for free before and blitzing down to B. But look at the rotation. KRU are here.
Yeah, it's a foot race all the way. This has been the story of this B site. Can they get back into position in time? Keznit goes through the smoke, and he's punished for it. In fact, every player on their swing is being punished. Davies, he doesn't even realize how much control is gone. It's the beginning of the end. Giants look like they have this one set in stone, and only one man stands in their way.
It's not had a bad game so far, but this would be a gargantuan task. The side of Giants, they're already thinking about that matchup. EDG waiting for them, revenge within their grasp. The final player standing in their way has been spotted. Rhyme will be the one to take it this time as we go 14-12, 2-0. Giants going for revenge.
Yeah, a close series. The 2-0, I'm not sure it necessarily does it justice with how KRU have managed to fight back in this series, showing the resilience that they have and the star power that definitely still sits within this team. The fact is, though, Giants today, I don't know, they look like I don't even want to say a different beast, because they look good in their first matchup, and I definitely think that even though we've sort of had the back and forth, the talks, they're going to be going into that one looking for a little bit of revenge. The fact is, though, KRU, after what was a fantastic fight to get to Champions and still showing that they can do damage with this 5, unfortunately, they are going to be falling flat or falling out today.
You see Lambo and Tyler down at the front, and both have a round of applause. That's the thing. Giants and KRU, they have a good relationship. Today, they were enemies. Tomorrow, they're back to being friends. And it was Giants to stand tall again, take this series 2-0 in clean fashion. Look, 13-10, 14-12. It's not like it was easy. They fought hard for this rematch, and now they have a chance to take down EDG. Back for blood in the next matchup for this squad.
Yeah, and I think it's set up to be a fantastic match. Like, both teams have proven that they really could get to the playoffs. I think many came into this tournament and looked at, like, Paperex, EDG, okay, they're probably cemented, but I definitely don't think that matchup is set in stone, as Giants have proven that structure, but also that individual star power. Like, we saw it throughout this match that anybody could bring this up. Luckily, Mitch, it's not our job to break this one down. I think there's a few people sat somewhere over there who are going to do that job for us.
Darn right there is, buddy. Well, congratulations to Giants on a hard-fought victory, but well-deserved as they move on in this competition. And, you know, you got to give all the love to the Giants. Even when you think that KRU had that, Giants never, fell back. They never faltered. They just continued with the plan, and the results speak for themselves, Mimi.
They needed a comeback in both those maps, and they managed to pull it off. I think they showed really good form in LCQ, showed a lot of strategic depth there, picking up things from other teams, adding their own ideas into the mix, and I think they adapted really well to KRU today. This is a hard match, but they pull it off and now stay alive in this very difficult group.
The resilience from Giants throughout this series is so impressive, right? I felt like there was many moments in the series where KRU looked like they could take the map on both of the maps, actually. But Giants stepped up their level across the board. I was so impressed with Cloud throughout that second map. I thought his util was perfect, but Fatinho has to be the man of the hour.
Oh, actually, I'm really glad you mentioned Fatinho, because that is our Verizon high-speed moment. It comes from Fatinho with that 4K in round 15. In Mimi, you know, I think Sean said it there, right? You have to be impressed with Fatinho, like what he has contributed to this team, not only as a fragger, but also just as a space creator for his squad. And then he pulls off just wild shots on the reg. It's so fascinating to watch this guy play.
Yeah, I feel like Fatinho has already grown so much this year as a player, coming up from Tier 2 from the Spanish leagues last year, and then kind of struggling a little bit at Lock-In, but throughout EMEA and now heading into Champions at another international event, this guy just seems to have continued to level up. The great util usage from the supportive players of Giants that you're talking about as well really benefits this guy to set him up for success, be it on the Jet, be it on a Raze.
Yeah.
And well, you look at this group and you look at players like Kong Kong, players like Something. I think he is one of the stars to keep on the radar.
Oh, 100%. Yes. But unfortunately, though, that means we have to say goodbye to KRU, the LCQ hopefuls from the Americas region, who really just lit the Valorant community on fire with their run. And Sean, it's sad that we have to say goodbye to them, but I'm excited for what can come from this in the future, especially for players like Keznit.
It is so sad to see them go out this way, because it feels so eerily similar to what happened throughout their VCT Americas season, just not being able to cross that finish line, getting so close and falling short. Great day of matches, though, for KRU, and it's just, it was pleasing to see that they made it here and were able to bounce back through LCQ.
Yeah, it's the most cruel way to end up losing, but it is still an incredible run from them to make it to this point, and I'm hopeful for the future.
Yeah, indeed it is. But for now, though, we actually have Dryad, who's standing by with the man of the hour. It's Vitinho for our Verizon post-match interview.
Is the man of the hour, Vitinho. Congratulations on that victory against KRU. And the first thing I want to tell you is this is your first Champions victory. And now you are the sole representative of not only Spain, but all Hispanics. Tell me what that moment feels to you to be able to represent such a massive community.
Yeah, I mean, just qualifying to Champions is insane, just to represent all this community, like Spanish community and Latin community as well. So, I mean, it feels insane.
And this game against KRU was very close, that first and second map. And one of the things that the coach was talking about was making sure that the swing rounds, those important rounds, were going your way. What was kind of the team effort inside the game to make sure they would go your way and it would be close out for the side of Giants?
Yeah, I think we just play our game. We just were hitting shots. They were hitting shots as well. It was a super hard game as well. But I think if you compare it to last game against CDG, this time I think we were winning clutches and important rounds. I think that makes the difference.
And when you come into these matches, for this match that just happened and what we're going to be seeing next, what is the approach of the team? Is it counter-strutting? Is it playing your own game? You focus on your own game, especially as a duelist and the star player.
I mean, I think if we just focus on our game, I just kind of see what the enemy is doing on some rounds, some patterns, and yeah, we just adapt in game.
All right, and my last question for you. There's been some conversations with you guys and how you feel about EDG. EDG is going to be that rematch that's going to happen once again to make it out of playoffs. How do you feel about the team, and how are you going to get that rematch go your way?
I mean, we feel good. Maybe this trash team is going to win against EDG. Who knows? So let's see. They have the pressure.
We're going to see what's going to happen. It's going to be exciting for sure. Thank you so much, Vitinho. Congratulations once again, and we'll send it back to you guys.
Calling all students. Compete in the ultimate VALORANT competition.
The Red Bull capless clutch.
Register now for your national qualifier.